Welcome back to the Breaker Bros, and tonight we're gonna predict the
Prediction
Bengals versus
time.
Bengals versus Browns. Should be a fun one. I'm wondering if
Let's
it's gonna
hope.
be. Well, yeah, it was like what 8 years ago when they had like the highest scoring AFC game ever. And
Yeah,
I
I
always
thought I
think,
heard it's been like 8 years since the Bengals have won in Cleveland, right? Is that
okay,
possible?
then maybe that was the last time we went. No, I think it was a home game. Yeah, because I was actually watching the highlights of that today. But yeah, every time we play the Browns, I kind of think of that game. Like I always think it's going to be like a high scoring, ugly defensive game.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I'm thinking it could be more like the game last week against the Giants. You know,
Okay.
like depending on how well they can pass rush. But I actually think the defensive line for the Giants might actually be better than the Browns. But I'm interested to see what PFS says as far as their
Yes.
total grades. But how you feeling about this matchup?
Well, I think it's another must-win, but I think it's a should-win. I don't really. I guess I do kind of have a feel. I feel like it's going to be high scoring, but I don't have much of a basis for that yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be more like the Giants game because I don't really think the Browns offense is that high powered, and especially after they got rid of their best receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that they were actually looking to get rid of I think Zadarius Smith is his name, their other defensive end. Which I feel like if they were to lose this week, they probably are going to most likely trade him because I think the
Okay. Well,
Lions were
he
interested
could
in him.
hop on the bus back down to Cincinnati.
Back to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Let's flip him like a fifth rounder or something. Take him home with us.
The Browns? I doubt they would trade with us. I
They
mean,
have in the past.
when?
Um, I feel like wasn't there a trade with Hawkins or something, or did we just sign him?
Oh, you know what? There was going to be a trade because
They were like in the Carson Palmer sweepstakes, right? Or no, they were going to trade for AJ McCarron.
yeah, and then it fell through because of a fax or something like that.
Yeah.
Supposedly that's what happened. The fax didn't go in time or whatever, and they just like missed the deadline. Or maybe they purposely did it because they
Yeah.
realized how
There
stupid
was
of
like someone working in the front office as like an assistant like looked at the trade papers like, oh crap, this is bad. He like unplugged the fax machine. He was like, I don't know what the problem is. I can't get this send.
Well, I mean, that's how the league has always been for a while now. At least the last 25 years?
What, fax machine?
No, just QB driven, like always overvalued QBs. Like they typically get the best prices or whatever,
Well,
even
if
for a
there's a
backup.
franchise that overvalues quarterbacks, I think the
Yeah,
Browns is probably the number one. Like
yeah,
looking back, that would have been even close to the worst trade for a quarterback. Which brings us to present times.
yeah. So the one thing that seems to be consistent with the Bengals, especially their defense, is they seem to get into a lot of third down situations.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, the Browns with Deshaun Watson are not very good on third downs. I don't think they converted a third down in the last 30 attempts or something like that.
Wow.
Which is, yeah, it's pretty insane. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't see them doing well. And if they were to do well on offense, it would be because of a running game. And, like, I don't think they're going to run up the score just by running. I do think they're going to have some success running because, I mean, it's the Browns. And I think most of their offensive line is back. So, I mean,
Okay.
75% of their offensive line is still pretty damn good, I would imagine.
Mhm. Okay. Well, this makes me want to pull up the PFF stuff.
Yeah, I was pretty interested in the PFF grades just because,
Okay.
I mean, I was looking at their depth chart and, I mean, their defense looks decent on paper. really the only drawback comes down to the receivers and I mean their quarterback, which is pretty significant.
Yeah, it has their defense as the 6th best defense.
I know part of their offensive struggles as far as their offensive line is that I think they've been pretty unhealthy. I don't think they've had at any point all of their starters.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think they have most of their starters back. The Browns.
On defense, we want to look. Oh, offense, yeah, it looks like they've got. Is Conklin and Dunn back?
Here, I'm gonna switch
what
this
that
just to make
means?
this a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, our defensive grades have gone up a little bit. Looks like because
Yeah.
Hill's actually pretty good grade. Finally, they have Jenkins as a starter, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm actually surprised how low their offensive grades are on their offensive line. Because I thought Willis Jr. was pretty decent.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've heard
Patino,
that
I thought was pretty good.
I've heard that their offensive line has not been playing well this year.
Yeah, but I think half of it is because a lot of them are backups.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that's a backup guard. I think Conklin's supposed to be decent, right?
He was. He might be getting a little.
Long in the tooth, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess 8 years isn't really that long, right?
No, that's like prime years of your offensive lineman. Like, should be hitting his stride right now.
Yeah.
Because it's like the offensive lineman, it takes a little while to mature, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he could be maybe just coming back from an injury sooner than or probably sooner than what he should be.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, his pass block. Holy moly. This is 30. That's maybe that's part of their problem. Because their pass blocking looks trash. He's got the only decent pass block grade, but then his run block is horrible.
Yeah.
Which actually pairs really well against, or at least for us, with Hendrickson.
Yeah. Geno Stone's still not getting graded very well.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy the drop off. But
Mm-hmm.
kind of the same thing happened to Snead. Ladarius Snead that was on the Chiefs. Like, supposedly he's having a really bad year, too. Oh, wow. Their defensive tackles don't look that great. Garrett, obviously good. Smith looks, I guess, above average.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, our offensive grade overall is not really that bad. Looks like Mims is like the one that seems to be that needs to improve a little bit, but I think he will get better throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't think he's doing that bad. I think this is just like a classic case of playing a rookie, especially against being in the AFC North where you're playing against really good pass rushers on pretty much every team, and then just every other team that we play seems to have a pretty good pass rusher that's, you know, I guess to a certain degree has elite abilities, you know?
Yeah. They have him ranked as the 63rd tackle. So not quite a starter, right? No, barely a starter, right?
Yeah.
There are 32 teams.
Yeah.
So
I think, and I get it, because if you're going off of like wins and losses, but I just think he's such a massive human being that even sometimes when he loses, it's still okay because Burrow's still able to get the ball out. But yeah, like his is always weird to me because I feel like he always plays better than what the grade is.
Hmm.
But I also understand that, obviously there's going to be a little bit of a bias with their grading because that's how they see is the wins and loss as far as the play. And I always feel like there's going to be a certain degree of it being inaccurate because you don't really know what they're supposed to be doing on plays. I mean, you can assume.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not fair for us to like ignore the grades that we don't like.
Well, no, we can accept them for what they are. And
Yeah.
if we assume that at the very least, unlike the NFL officials, as long as they're being consistent from player
Hmm.
to player and team to team, then it's fine, right? Because it's all on
Hmm.
the same scale. I just see it for what it is. I mean, it's what they consider a good play versus bad play, right? So, I mean, if you look at it through that lens, and you can kind of, you know, but there's also there always going to be some type of nuance, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting. I mean, I guess one thing we could say about the Bengals, as far as if you look at the grades, is they're consistently going up overall. I feel like
Yeah, the
so that
defense is improving. I mean, it helps to have BJ Hill in because he's been
no, because
playing
he's playing
well.
like BJ Hill like that. Like the first couple of
Yeah.
games just didn't seem like himself. Like he obviously got hurt in the second game,
Hmm.
but I'm
Well, I
starting to
think
think,
Hubbard is playing better too
well, because
in
if
more recent games.
yeah, can you do it by like games this year?
Uh, I think so. You just gotta look at.
Yeah, because I would imagine his last two games should be pretty good. Yeah, like his run defense is back to normal. Like that's his run defense has always been pretty good. Yeah, said he did pretty decent in the Chiefs game too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, Baltimore was definitely his best game. He was all over the place. He got that safety.
who else were we talking about? Oh, let's talk about what's his face.
Hill?
No, who's the safety? Geno Stone. Oh, well, he played better this last game. Guess he just got graded really poorly during the Baltimore game.
Can you go to battle? Wow, he also had a bad Baltimore grade. That's but then again, I wonder how many plays he played.
I'm sure there's a way to look at it, but I don't know. Who else do we want to look at?
I can't really think of anyone. Because I feel like it was his.
Let's play 31 snaps in week 5.
Yeah.
2 on the D line. That seems weird.
Well, was it on special teams?
Oh yeah, they got him on. Let's delete special teams. There you go. So he played 8 snaps, and then 14 snaps in week 6.
I feel like that's about right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would imagine, well, maybe that's not close to 50-50, but I feel like having him take about half the snaps away from Bell makes sense. What are you looking for Deshaun Watson?
I was just curious. So it says he played well against Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Not so well against the Giants and Dallas.
But he only had 176 yards?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, his yardage doesn't look that great overall.
Yeah.
I guess they're consistent. I don't know. I'm starting to get like, or you're starting to hear more and more people just over Watson. Because I think for a while there, he still had a bit of I guess, a supporting cast in Cleveland as far as like people trying to support him. But I think this year, especially if they lose this week, I think they might just at that point try to tank, or at least that's my gut feeling.
Well, I mean, like the trade that they made makes it seem like they're trying to tank. You know?
Yeah. Especially the whole Zadarius Smith rumor, because I think the Lions were interested, especially after the Hutchinson injury.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's one of these games where I kind of expect it to be ugly just because it's a Cleveland game. But at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if we actually, and I hate to say it, blow them out. But
I'd love to say blow them out. All right.
Was that what you're going to go with?
I don't know. I'd say I would love to say it. So what's your prediction for the score?
I'm going to go with 26-13 Bengals.
Okay. So let's do some math here. So the spread is the over-under is 41.5. So we'll just call 42. So 36. That's 18. So it's like predicting 24-18. I'm doing it. 31.
What?
17. Bengals. This isn't good, man. The more confident I am, the worse the Bengals do. So, but
Yeah.
that's just what I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, really, if it's like, I have a weird feeling it could also be like the Patriots game, right? That's the vibe I'm starting to get, because like I don't really see them like tearing it up, passing it, but I can see them moving the ball enough to where they can control the game as far as the tempo, and then I could potentially see like their pass rush cause enough. But then again, I also don't think they're going to be as good as the Giants. The Giants, I was kind of shocked how well they played. They just had a really athletic defensive line.
Yeah.
I don't think the Browns line is going to be as athletic or as quick as the Giants overall. I mean, yeah, they have Myles Garrett for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that's going to be the wild card for me. But if they can get consistent pressure, then yeah, it could be like a Patriots type game where they could just somehow run the ball enough to win. But I feel like a lot would have to happen for that, because I do feel like obviously Chubb's going to be back, or at least I think. But at the same time,
if he's back, is he going to carry the ball 30 times, or is he going to have like 5 or 6 carries?
I think it'll probably be closer to like 10, or no, I think it'll be closer to like 15. Like he'll have 15 snaps. Maybe he won't have 15 carries, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I also agree it's not going to be like the full workload. That would be kind of silly.
Yeah.
And I believe that enough to where I'm not even starting Chubb on my fantasy team this week, because I kind of have faith in the Bengals, and then at the same time I do think it's going to be one of those games where they're going to want to get his feet wet. They're going to want to test him. I don't know. I don't think he's a fully 100%, right? I don't think he said he was. I think it would kind of hard be. I think it would be hard for him to be 100% at this point.
Yeah, I would think that's probably accurate.
Because I think it's also, yeah, he might feel like 100%, but at the same time, like he may not be 100% football shape. Because I think you got to take the abuse and then regain that strength throughout the year.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
that's
basically this is going to I think this is going to be sort of like a preseason game for Chubb. So I think that his plays and snaps are going to be limited. Also, it's just I don't know what the Browns are doing because they traded Amari Cooper. So are they going to be looking to get rid of other guys? Is there like a fire sale?
yeah. I mean
So,
that's what makes the most sense to me. The path that they're going down, right?
yeah.
Because if
What's is there a trade deadline in the NFL?
yeah,
When is it?
I feel like it's got to be coming up within the next 3 weeks or so. Can't be too much longer.
Yeah.
I want to say it's before mid-season, or maybe
Googling it.
I'm gonna say like week 8 or 9. I think 9. But yeah,
November 5th.
that's okay. So it's like one more month.
Yeah.
I guess that's a little bit
31st,
after
too.
mid-season, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
About 3 weeks. So that would be like, was it week 7? So like week 10-ish?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, I guess it is right since you looked it up. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of the direction that the Browns are going because I mean, at this point, if you know you're not going to win it with Deshaun Watson, I mean, you're kind of stuck with his situation. So at this point, they need to get whatever they can with the players that they have, and then just really start stocking up on those draft picks because that's the only way you can get out of this hole is just hit with the next couple of drafts with a whole bunch of picks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because that's the only way. Because like they're gonna have to get their actual quarterback that way.
Yeah. Do they have, when's the next time they have a first round pick?
I think it's next year. I think it's got to be this coming season. I would think because they only traded. Did they trade 3 first round picks? I think they do have a first round pick next year.
I'm looking up.
And if they don't, then yeah, they might be screwed.
Oh, they have their own picks rounds 1 through 4 and 6. They get a third rounder for Amari Cooper.
Yeah,
What?
this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna start.
Wait, it says 6th round pick from Minnesota for Zadara Smith's trade. Is that they got a pick for obtaining him?
Yeah, because sometimes remember they like switch, like they'll like trade.
Yeah. So that must be why they don't have a 5th rounder.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that would make a lot of sense now that they just start pawning off these players to get some of these draft picks back.
So they have their first round pick.
Sounds like yours or whatever his name is going to be a Brown. Like it's just starting to make more and more sense, especially if they continue to lose.
Yeah. They still have a lot more time with Deshaun Watson, though, right?
Basically 2 more seasons. I think what you do is you just make him a really expensive backup next year, right? And then I think the year after that, you just kind of cut him loose. I mean, he's still going to cost you 60 million, but at that point, it's better than 120.
Oof. $72 million cap hit. in 25. $72 million cap hit. Actually, basically $73 million cap hit in 25 and in 26.
And it's still a $26 million cap hit in 27. That's what's crazy.
What? How's that work?
Because it's like a invisible year, right? It's a void year.
Mm-hmm.
It was like after he signed his deal, like there was 2 years in a row where he restructured his contract, where basically every time he restructured it, they pushed like another like 20 million down the road.
Yeah. Oh, over the cap.
Like by far the worst contract ever. Just like looking at these numbers, I'm like,
Yeah, I don't even understand it. It's like, so, okay, so if they cut him, they have $172 million in dead money. And then cap savings is there's a negative $99 million cap hit.
yeah, because remember his contract was fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
So no matter what, they got to pay it out.
Wow. So they got to pay him. And so he's on the roster for 27 as well.
No, it's a void year.
He just gets 17. He just gets $27 million.
No.
Nothing.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't get any money those years. That's just the cap. Like, remember, you can push the cap hit down to certain years with all these weird bonuses. So, like, he doesn't get any money. It's just
Those
because
are
they
just
paid
void years.
Yeah.
So is he under contract then?
No.
I don't understand the void year thing.
The way I understand it is just it's like an invisible year where they can push dead, or I guess cap hits.
There's a no trade clause.
Yeah, no. Cleveland was so desperate to get him. Like that was like
So contract voids February 18th, 2027. So he doesn't play the 2027 season. Okay.
you gonna look up what a void year is?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. They're just like invisible years is the way I look at it.
But does that mean he can play for a different team?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I mean that's something Bengals never do, right?
No, they do.
Who do they do void years with?
I think Burrow's got one.
Really? Huh.
I think Chase will probably have it.
Is it over the cap? It's over the cap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, so he's got 3 void years.
Which doesn't even make sense because it's like, is he getting any money on this? That one's confusing to me because it looks like his last 2 void years, he's got 3 million and 1 million option bonuses.
It's prorated bonus. Yeah, but like the options count like the year that they happen. But it's weird that the signing bonus. I thought the signing bonus prorated over the life of the contract. No? I guess not, right? All right, cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're fairly convinced that the Bengals are going to win this weekend, but will it happen? We'll see. Hopefully it's in dominant fashion, but
Dominate.
I think we'll be there Sunday afternoon. I guess you're going to be available.
Yeah. Yeah, after the
All
game.
right.
Chat
All
it
right.
up.
I guess we'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.